Hey everyone, so we are going to finish the application of to-do list task. So this application, what does it do? It allows you to add some tasks and then you can view the task, you can edit it and you can complete the task and it will just clear off the task you completed and you can just exit the app as well. So let's get to it. Now we are going to use some methods and organize the codes in a module. So what is the module in Python? In Python, a module is a file containing Python definition and statements. It serves as a way to organize Python codes into reusable units. So we can just logically organize our codes in module. Okay, so let's get to it. So this is an interface of PyCharm. So we're going to do our code here so that it becomes easier for us. Previously we did this. As you know, Python 3.9 does not support match statement. That's why it's getting an error here. So we're going to name it our final code. List. While true, we will take the user input, right? And then if the user action starts with add, so we did this before. Okay, starts with it takes, look, it takes a string. Okay, let's try it again. And now you can say, look, it takes prefix start end and it takes string. Okay, so we are going to write a string here, which is add. If user's action starts with add, then to do equal to, okay, we did another thing, right, which is to do equal to user action, because user will be typing now add and space and some action. For so we want to, what if we do it in a different file? Okay, like this. So we wrote the functions here. The get to-dos will actually read the file from todos.txt. So the get to-dos function will actually take the txt file as an input, as a parameter, but the write to-dos will take the file path and the to-dos. Okay, so how do we get that? We can type from functions import get to-dos, write to-dos, or there is another way. That is importing functions. now we're going to call the write_to_dos function, and as a parameter we're giving the txt file and the list like to-dos. So to call the function we have to write here functions dot write_to_dos. So we're going to remove all case and use the if-else statements. So now to show it, we're calling the functions. We're going to read the file from the txt file and then show it to the user. So for ij in enumerate. So enumerate is a function in Python which actually has two things. It carries the index with the actual element in the list. So we're going to jump in example to see how it works. So fruits is a list which contains some elements, and for index comma fruit in enumerate fruits, we're going to print the index and the fruit. So let's say what it prints. It's printing 0 apple, 1 banana, 2 mango, 3 orange. So it's actually printing the index alongside the fruit name. You can just also just define the start as well. Instead of starting from index 0, it will now start from index 1. It's so handy sometimes. So now we're going to change things here. Let's write it as index as it's more convenient to understand. So for index to do in enumerate, so to do equal to do dot strip, and now let me just print it. Let's try the f string. Okay, as we're going to, we have added +1 because we're going to count the index from 1, not 0. So let's add some tasks to the to-dos.txt. Play games. Okay. We can just remove all this because we don't need it anymore. We're using the if for now. Let's run the code. Sure. Okay. There is big gaps because I've added. Oh, okay. Let's remove it. Instead of doing the strip, we can just add a blank strip and see what it's going to be. Sure. Oh, it worked. Okay. We don't need to print the to-dos anymore. So now we're going to edit the edit thing. That's cool. So we have called the write_to_dos function for it. Okay. Now we are going to use the try and except. So what's it? Um, so let's try with the definition. Exception handling in Python actually allows us to gracefully manage errors and unexpected situations. It involves using try, except, else, and finally blocks. So try is used to enclose the code that might raise an exception. That's why we use try in the entire block. And except block is used to handle specific exceptions. We can also have multiple except blocks to handle different exceptions. So in case of value error, we have raised value error exception, and if that occurs, it will print wrong command. So we can use this in case of complete as well. We shift the entire block into try block. Now we will raise except. For that, we are going to call the function. We're going to actually edit the txt file. So index equal to number minus 1. So to use to remove equal to do's dot, sorry, to do's index, which is number minus 1 dot strip in. We will pop it. So to do's dot pop number minus 1, or we can just simply type index. Okay, now we just copied the write to do's function, and now we are going to we are going to raise the error. So except index error. So if we give any invalid index, it will just print out of index. Okay, it's just out of index. And then we'll just continue the code. Now let's run the code and see what happens. Okay, we did nothing. Okay. So we have now given an invalid one and it's showing index error. So we have not raised the index error. So let's add another one, except index error. Okay, just copying the same thing. And now let's run the code again. Now it's showing out of index and it's not giving an error. We can just type add or complete or exit, right? So that's what the power of exception handling in Python. So when we have written something, it's doing wrong command. So it's actually catching both of the errors. Now let's show and okay. Hmm. Okay, this sounds really nice. Oh, okay. So we are doing, we have done a very wrong thing here. That is, actually we have written user action equal to complete. We didn't change the code. We have to write user action dot start with to use this user action thing. So user action dot start with complete. Now let's run the code and see what happens. Okay, first we need to show it so that we can understand. Now complete one. Okay, it's time. Okay, so task one is gone because we have already completed task one. So this is our whole app, and it's pretty simple if you think, but you can learn a lot of things.